Hey Mark, you're thinking correctly about how companies that are, oil, their core is oil, and then if there's a problem overseas in the Middle East or a war or anything like that, so I quit looking at oil-related companies a long time ago because unless they're fairly small. Um, so Oxy is not been trending up at all. This is since 2011, and it's been on a downtrend for a long time now. I mean, there's some room for it to grow here from its current, $45 up to this point where it's going to stop dead in its tracks because it always does in the $60 range. This is crude oil down here, and if you go back to 91, this is where the Afghan war started, and it was so oil jumped from close to 20 to close to 40, and Occidental just had this small move here. It's a great big giant sluggish boat. It's not really going to react really hard and fast like smaller companies. This thing's got a $50 billion market cap at this price. So here's another one where we had the big spike in oil up into the $140 a barrel range just prior to the financial crisis in 2008. So it went from average price of oil for a year or so of 60, 65 and doubled, more than doubled. And Occidental went from $46 to $85. Okay, so there's a $40 move during this period of time. And then it came back down and had held steady. So this is support right here. This is support for where it's at the moment. Also, another time that oil climbed from 35 to $115, and Oxy went from 38 to $100. So this downtrend right here, it looks like a dilution to me, like they've been adding more and more and more shares to just dilute it. But that's when I went and looked at it, there's not been a lot of dilution. So Lucy tells me that there's been a constant selling pressure because Berkshire Hathaway currently owns 30% of it, right? But they had owned more and more. So they're having a constant selling of warrants and selling of options that they bought. Buffett has, and now there's this, and it's not enough to push this down. It's enough to create a fear that Buffett could sell more at any point. Well, Buffett's in a large cash position, so everyone's still sort of worried. Is he going to sell more? He's the largest holder of this thing, and it's just a giant sluggish barge. If there's a war in Iran and it stops everything for a week or two or a month, if it stops for a year, then yeah, we'll end up breaking out of this. Every one of these candlesticks represent 1 month. So if it stops for a year, it would be probably break above this trend line, this downward trend line. But I can't imagine that the oil in the Middle East is going to stop for any long period of time to move this giant barge. Look a different direction. Go with something smaller, higher beta. Beta is if the S&P 500 moves 1%, then the stock that you're looking at moves 1%. That would be a beta of 1. Oxy has got a beta of, where's it at? I always look at my beta. 0.42. It's slow. If the S&P 500 moves 1%, this moves 0.42%. Other ways to go. It's my 2 cents. Ciao.